A longtime president and CEO at Driscoll Children's Hospital is retiring after 10 years at the helm there. Steve Woerner actually announced his retirement back in April, but the staff there would not let him go without holding a reception in his honor, and that's what this event was all about today. During his tenure at Driscoll, it has grown rapidly, of course. It became the only level 4 neonatal intensive care unit in South Texas. Steve was also there in 2016 as surgeons completed their first ever separation of conjoined twins. Remember that? And of course, he was in on the planning and part of the construction of the hospital's current $100 million expansion project. Lots of folks praising his leadership tonight.
It's been a pleasure, honestly. Steve has always been pro-physician, and he's tried his best to make Driscoll a great place for physicians to practice.
Very representative of all the comments there, and we here at TV3 wish Steve the very best in his future adventures.
Absolutely.
Nice guy.
Yes.